Hello, everybody. Good morning to Europe. Good evening to anyone watching from the US or North America. We are playing Overworld Tile Swap in the 2025 main tournament, Link to Pass Rando. This is Group P. If I read the group standings correctly, JAQK is already through to brackets. Zenit needs one win, basically, to punch his ticket. We'll see how this goes. I'm fascinated usually by the opening of this mode, so we'll see what happens here. We are starting very soon. Sort of a cross between inverted and not, so you have to think on the fly a little bit about how to find bombs and money. So we'll see how it goes. I do not know how much latency is the race itself, so we'll see when it actually starts. And we're off. We have vanilla starting spots. So JAQK will start at Link's house and do a long map check. That's a lot of dungeons in Light World. So JAQK is checking for Hype Cave there, despite not having bombs. You'll see runners sort of poke into areas to see whether it's swapped or not. There's certain things you're going to want in the early game if they're there, like Hype Cave. But JAQK is sort of doing a full start. It's true. That's the start version of this. So, for example, you kind of want to check Lumberjack there because the bush crab is there, but there's no bush crab for Lumberjack, so you can't do that. I think we have a Skullwoods. Yeah, we do. So this is a source of bombs. See that go right from the back, and the two bombs in the circle here. Alright, how many bombs do you want? Looks like we're on 4 and the magic. It does find a gauge fight now that we have to guarantee one. Three keys. Save. Interesting. JAQK is newer to the community this year. I don't recognize the name as much. Zenda's been around a while. But despite that, JAQK is 4-0, has beaten the other two members of the group twice each. These two have 2 games to play. The other two have 1 game to play against each other. Zenit probably needs one of these to advance. But yeah, with Village of Outcasts and Light World, there's not a whole lot of checks here. This is more of an inverted start than a normal start. This also means when we get Dark World access, we're going to get a bunch of items real fast, so look out for that. And a Torch, and a Moon Pearl. This is all dungeons, so if you get access to Act 1, you might just want to send it just to get yourself into Dark World. So far, not a lot of sort of useful items. Love something. So 3 in the front of Thieves, but nothing that gets us sort of anything else. Might have to go east here. The Light World Mire, I didn't see that before, but yeah, that means we're going to need a book at some point. Okay, just this level first time. Okay, now we're in Light World. But I think Zenit is going into front of Castle. If there is anything important here, I don't think Jack's getting to it for a while. 6 bomb escape. We need 5 of them. Well, something, but 3 bombs. And it is the strats there. The only trick is this green guard down at the bottom who can decide to just charge you, and that's not really what you want here. Fire rod, powder. Green guard is not cooperating, as usual. Right, nothing in castle. But Zenit's going to be with the myths, and will be pleased to have found them at this point. Woods. These cost $500. They're expensive. No, and Dark Cross, I believe, is the map, unless I missed it in Zank, so Zen does not need to do that. But yeah, there's money in Zank, so yeah, the map is Dark Cross. That's a heart piece. Not taking lumberjack, I guess. We are checking ice truck. I don't know if we saw this on the map. Blind check. No, that's blind check. It's not there. An interesting route here. Rejected half attack Rico and then went off to do stuff on the north side and now coming back with these 2 attacks. And then presumably off to digging there. So this is let's try the blacksmith again without changing worlds. So just need to check back to that. You do want to do this first though, because if you have a follower, you guys are not ranking the shovel. coming back. Look, it's 12:45 for me. It's not 12:45 for the runners. I like to pay some attention. So a few items there, but nothing that really jumps out as the thing you want to be doing. I guess you could do Skullwoods with 6 hearts and the Fighter Sword. That doesn't sound like fun. In Zenitschwert, though, that bow is going to give you some actual options. Like, this is an annoying thing to walk to, especially because we don't have a clue to get back. But that bow does give you Eastern and more pod. Yeah, Beast Jack, you're 7 more from Light World or Dark World access. I think this is inverted and going, this is Light World. No, it's not Light World, it's Dark World, clearly. This is a very inverted instance of this mode. Oh, no, oh, saved it. A lot of Light World dungeons. Obviously, all these checks in Light World. And a hammer, which is very... Yeah, so suddenly we have lots of options. Assuming you go to Eden. Fewer options, you know. Isn't it taking the whirlpool down here, which is awesome. So the hammer here, in it. The good news is you have portal access down here. The bad news is we're not going to pick which dungeons you want to do first, because there's lots of them. So. I believe with this configuration, you have to take the portal. So there's a portal in the light world that takes you onto the island where you have to mirror again or something like that. We'll see it later. So. Float on the island. It's really weird getting to. Well, people have to get in, although we have to have their random portal outside the call it. Zenit's play here is to go to Skull. JAQK's taking the new flute and going to what looks like Eastern and Medpod. Easier to see the turn and right after. This might also get information about what the are because the food's on the lamp. Maybe. We are going to see one boot block check here. then it has to take the long walk out of Skullwoods because no beer and too much health. Then it feeds down. Nothing Eastern. Not see menus. And we didn't get anything from them, so it's probably no big deal. We didn't do them earlier. Light rolled out, dark rolled that way. Did it again. That's something. That is a mirror in the Deep Big Chest. So that will save Zenit a little bit of time doing Pod Eastern, because you can just go to Pod first. Haven't found anything over here on this side so far, but there's still a lot of Pod to do. Save it out. I believe both sides of the mountain as normal, so we do normal things here. We can get to TR, but we have one medallion and so much. Most players just shotgunning guns at this point. Just do things you have to do. We'll sort of see what settles when JAQK is done with 5 dungeons, basically. There's not really much reason to stray from that. I guess you maybe go to ice afterward, even. Set up the death work with them here. Boots and spiral cave, which then get us the lamp if we want. Certain people probably in shambles over. Yes, this is part of the issue with not having the mirrors. You have to figure out how to die to the Kanongos here. Like, they do a heart of the damage, but you don't know where they are. They're somewhere. Like, the rest of this is straightforward, and the boss won't be too hard because you have a fire rod. But that death warp kind of hurts. This is the classic paradox of the super buddy combo here. He's also got some traversal items that are going to help increase efficiency. The question is, when does he go to communicate? Or bow, I suppose. Alright, the important question is JAQK going left or right with the fire rod? Are we hovering? Might be hovering. left torch, apparently. Then it makes it across the first up. 2 items for that, and that's not for the last one. The lonely turtle. That's a retreat. Alright. I think it's all 4 attacks. This is all dungeons, so the in-game impact is less than normal. Push that anyway. Nice to get the efficiency out of it. Not looking terribly out of this. Yeah, so this is the portal. That is Amit's portal, actually, yes. It just takes you to Light World, so you can appear on the island. Probably Skull Thieves for JAQK now. Catfish and bees, apparently. Where is that going? Architects. Okay, this is good for Zelda. Combo Fire we don't have. Okay, this is the thing that's in it. We're going to see more things we've already seen. There's Zenit's bow, and we're off to pot. Didn't even grab the lamp. Doesn't need it. Yeah, thanks for that, old man. Okay, while we're sort of seeing the same things from both runners, we can explain what a tile swap is. So the overworld is divided into tiles. Each of them is either in its normal state, which is with the light world version of light world, the dark world version of dark world, or they're in the flip state where they are reversed. So, for example, we saw Thieves Town in the light world along with Village of Outcasts. This then means that the JAQK overworld tile is in the dark world. Now, at this point, we have full portal access and can kind of get anywhere we can get, but the opening is interesting and different because we can sort of read about what is available. JAQK is not interested in doing Terra the intended way. That is bombos for Thieves Town as well, so that's double bombos, although I think each one knows one of them. And JAQK will be taking the slow walk to the boots. honestly where boost intended to be, right? Because you have to walk so much to get to the chest here, and then it lets you walk faster the rest of the game. That's supposed to be, right? So we've now seen several dungeons worth of items, and really not a whole lot. There's a mirror, there's boots, and anything else recently? But that was overworld. Then it's Team Right Torch. Okay, vindicated. JAQK really trying to spike the hook shot before doing any of these things. And is not going to attempt the hover, but we know there's nothing to do anyway. So where's your next? Could do ice throughout the game. I know kids these days don't want their icebreakers, but sometimes you gotta do it. We have not seen Hera Basement. JAQK might do that. Since he's seen more of the seed at this point. We have some other weird stuff near checks. Went for the swag dash and missed. I know that feeling. Zenit with the interesting gamble here. 2 items left in Eastern is not doing the big key chest. We know it's nothing, but obviously he doesn't know that. Could be something. And JAQK is not doing Hera Basement. It is doing Spike Cave, which we have also not seen. I will say this is Vanilla Mountain, so it's not that bad to get up there like it would be with Inverted Mountain. We have what? Purple chest, mirror checks, and then Ice Palace. Hookless Swamp, I suppose, if you want to be spicy. I wouldn't say anyone's particularly ahead at this point. It looks like JAQK is done with progression dungeons first, but Zenit does have a couple of checks over him. In particular, Hyrule Castle Basement. Zenit forgot to swap off the flute and almost got the duck pickup in the middle of the water. But looks like Zenit's going for ice. This is honestly probably the safer play, just because this is a progression dungeon. You're going to spend more than, like, the minute you lose not having Kane just being here first, and, like, you don't get a lot of checks for that minute in Overworld. But new checks on both sides, finally. Nothing yet. Let's play Ice Palace Key Logic. Is this hook locked? Let's find out together. It is not hook locked, so that shovel is actually live. Nope, still nothing. Is it really going to be Hera Basement? Is that what we're doing here? Oh, JAQK never did this. Okay, so maybe Zenit is actually ahead here in progression. Oh, didn't get the spin. Still got the kill pretty fast. And it's not ice unless it's the shovel. So what all we have left? Graveyard Ledge, Hera Basement, Shovel, and then Hookless Swamp, I guess? I guess we haven't seen Lumberjack, which is actually live now. I don't think anybody checked it. We just got the boots and the lamp. And now Zenit's going to get these overworld checks as well. I think this is Graveyard Ledge from JAQK. And maybe Lumberjack too. Nope, this is Catfish. Good call there by Zenit. Almost just ditched the chest to go do the shovel, but needs to have it attached before mirroring. Alright, there we go. Now we can do stuff. So, rule of fire by proxy. But really all that gets us is a mire dip? Oh, we can't do that. It's... I can't say I've ever tried that, but I understand why it works that way. The thief NPC needs to be spawned while you're still in the chest following state, or while we still have the chest, I guess. Oh, we never actually did this. Both players blind checked it and it wasn't there. Wait, have we seen this? I forget. Just running low on good options here. I mean, I guess you don't have to check Lumberjack if you're just going to do AGA 1 anyway. Oh, no, wait. I thought this is the map. Am I wrong? Nope, I'm wrong. But yeah, I think Zenit's play here is just, I have to do AGA 1 at some point anyway, I may as well just go ahead and do it, and then blind check Lumberjack. And then can combo that with Graveyard Ledge. So I think when all is said and done, I'd say that Zenit's ahead. A couple of checks that JAQK has done that Zenit hasn't. But I think Zenit's about to go do them. So that will equalize that part. Get a very rarely seen bomb jump here. At least nowadays. It used to be more common, but now everybody icebreakers. There's the shovel that Jack will eventually need. So to recap, as far as I can remember, our remaining checks are Lumberjack, which neither of them have looked at, Hera Basement, Caneless Misery Mire, and Hookless Swamp. Oh, he's just been there the whole time. Great. Love that. Well, I guess we're off to Swamp then. Yeah, evidently I forgot one that was still available that we hadn't seen. It's Pyramid Ledge, which doesn't feel great that you're just now finding that in Hour 7, but what Zenit doesn't know is that he's first to it. By about a minute, it looks like. So we are go -2. We need a book and we need a cane. Although, Zenit doesn't know that because Zenit, for some reason, didn't look at the TR medallion. So we'll see what they do. 2 from Go mode with relatively bad options, you can sort of justify doing Swamp in a couple different ways. Here is Bombos for Jack. This is the point where you have to make the decision yourself. Okay, I have 3 items left in Swamp Palace. I always do that. Swamp Palace. I am 2 from Go mode. My other options are bad. Am I going back in? I mean, if it's me, I'm paranoid, so the answer is yes, but I'm not running this race. cape is nothing. And we're going back in. I mean, I think there are about as many checks in here as there are in the rest of the game, so this is not terribly surprising. And there's the book, so we are Samaria Go with nothing in GT. But that makes the decision for you about where you're going next, because you have progression to do. And there it is. Now, the trick is that Zenit doesn't actually know he's in Go. He got 2 medallions out of 3, so you can sort of assume that. But, see what he does. The lack of a tablet check indicates to me that he's going to Go mode this. Has a fairly significant lead, actually, because he has already done angle 1, so that's 4 minutes banked up. I don't think there's any way you come in here, get the book, and then dip with 2 more items to find. Like, it's a book. It does 4 checks for you. None of which are terribly good checks. Now, if you'd reverse the 2 items, then I would sort of understand seeing the Samaria and leaving going, it's in Turtle Rock, it's always in Turtle Rock. Or it's in GT, it's always in GT. Alright, that is... JAQK knows for sure he's in Go mode, because JAQK has seen both the medallions, but it's Go mode for both. Like, Zenit definitely gained some routing efficiency, or... The execution looks fairly similar, maybe a little better for Zenit. But, like, some routing efficiency from the mirror just not finding the bow might have actually helped by getting the mirror faster. We are going to get a bit of a sink into Mire. In a shocking development, it's actually Godmire when we're in Go mode. Then putting the block to set up Spooky, it looks like. Oh, missed it. And that's Vitreous for JAQK, but is still down 2 dungeons, one fairly short, one not. We're off to TR. Jack, what are we doing? Oh, we're going left. I'm stupid. I think it's probably not very visible on his tracker, but I'm pretty sure Zenit does not know he's about to find a Bombos on this hill. Welcome surprise, to be sure. Wait, does that work? Can you do that? I don't think it's faster, but it looked cool. Or would have if it actually worked. Alright, I'm gonna switch the audio since Zen is fairly clearly ahead. Get some Game Boy Zelda. This is in fact Turtle Rock from Link's Awakening. We get the early big key so we can skip the lava chest. So we're going to do, as is sort of typical, the 97% route of skipping the big chest. If there are small keys in both the lava chest and the big chest, you have to go back, but that's only 3% of the time. So everyone just does this. One of those sort of metagame things that you know everyone else is doing, so if you get screwed by it, everyone else will too, probably. And sure enough, never punished. And 2 next down. Next down. Alright, so I know y'all like numbers, so you can put some numbers in the chat. Don't put anything above the number 18 because of the logic bug in this version of the randomizer. Y'all know what this means. we are going left. Guessing this is a rando rush. Looks that way. So because Ice Armos and Bob Chess cannot have the big key, this route is now somewhat better than normal because it gets you to the other density there faster. But it is... the number of the day is 6, apparently. There are no 6s in chat. There are some 5s and some 7s, but no 6s. As a reminder, this looks a bit closer than it is because Zenit already did AGA 1. So that add another like 4-ish minutes to his lead. And assuming I know the tiebreakers correctly, this will mean that Zenit, assuming that he finishes this out with the fairly substantial lead he has, will punch his ticket to brackets, because he has the tiebreaker of Iceman. A little glitch there, no big deal. Well, not a glitch, just a little fun. One of those things that grates on you because you have nothing to think about aside from execution at this point of the seed. So same route from JAQK, so no time gained or lost there. Or did he hope, and that's why he has more keys? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, why not check for Gold Sword to save 0 seconds? think that was 2 and not 3. It was close. Anyway, that is all the dungeons for Zenit. That's 2 phases down. And no Ganon Warps is seeded, so we're going straight on to Silverless at a Monolith. Only Amazing and Pharaohs because a Monolith, sorry. Good triples here, so should be done pretty soon. And there it is. So, barring catastrophe, Zenitschwert will win this race and improve to 3-2. Okay. D's in chat. I have pressed the button, so we'll see if he wants to join. The last sword is apparently on the mushroom turn-in. We never saw a mushroom. It's sort of a hard race to read because for a lot of it they were just sort of doing progression and then switching places. But then it got the better of it, it seemed like. Looks like Jack's finishing it out, so won't be too much longer. just has to do the 0 blue Balaga 1 and then Ganon. Nice quick speed though. Oh no, I didn't think he was going to make the 1-1, but just made it. He's going to cape to phase 2. Yeah, losing a little time here on the Ganon fight to bottom triples versus the top triples, but, you know, still entirely reasonable. And get your GGs in chat for Jeff. We'll see if they want to join here. Zenit says no. I did say in the race room that he was going to play Aga 1 to Pyramid for Quake. Okay, apparently, but neither of them are coming in. So, I guess that'll do us if we're not going to have the runners in here. But thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out with your morning or late nights or whatever. This is the last race until tomorrow morning U.S. time, so I have to wait for that, I think. Might be wrong. Let me not just make stuff up. The next race on the schedule is 11:30 a.m. Eastern, which is 6 hours from now, something like that. 6 and change. Between Facebones and Top Life on SpeedGaming 2, then there's a whole slate of races for the remainder of the day, including these two having their rematch this time tomorrow night. But that will do it for us, and thanks for watching.